District 8, and he is taking over for the retiring Jeff McWaters, who, by the way, is not running for Congress. Bill DeSteph not running for Congress. Everybody's running for Congress. Senator DeSteph, good to have you with us, man.
John, good to be here, my friend. How are you today? And no, I am not running for Congress. I just signed up for this 4-year stint, and for all those who have emailed me, texted me, and called me, I'm honored and I'm humbled that they would even consider me for this position of Congress. But to be honest with you, 1 of 40 for the next 4 years makes me pretty happy.
Well, it's a lot more fun than being 1 out of 565. So
exactly
435, whatever the number.
435, yes, sir.
Right, 435 in Congress. I'm going to get to politics and then get to state assembly business and some of the things you're working on. I want to start with a local Republican race in Virginia Beach. Might not be that appealing to everybody out there, but Ken Longo, the chairman of the Virginia Beach Republican Party, retiring. We got basically a two-person battle. Clay Atkinson, we had him on our show on Friday, one of the candidates running for state chairman of the Virginia Beach Republican Party. The other candidate, who I think you're going to endorse, we have on our show Wednesday. Bill, can you tell our audience a little bit about why you've come out for her so early?
Well, I've come out early for Tina Mapes as soon as she told me she was interested in running, which was about a year ago. And she said, if Ken Longo ever steps down, I'd be very interested in running. I'm a huge supporter of Tina. I've known her for just probably between 15 and 20 years. She's just a wonderful, honest, great person. I think the world of her, always have, always will. She works hard on campaigns. She's done so much for the Republican Party of Virginia. She's been Woman of the Year. She's just been completely involved, engaged in campaigns. She gets signatures for everybody. Heck, she was out this weekend, Saturday, getting signatures for Scott Taylor, who's running for Congress. But I've seen her out raising, literally at fundraisers, helping candidates raise money, doing walks, you name it, she's been involved, and heavily involved for the last 15-plus years. She's a lieutenant with our sheriff's office. She's one of the principals with Law Enforcement United. Her entire life is dedicated to making this world a better place for everyone.
Okay, so Tina Mapes is one of two candidates running to replace Ken Longo as chairman of the Virginia Beach Republican Party. That'll be held. There'll be a mass meeting that hasn't been announced. Everything's up in the air right now with these meetings because of the redistricting situation. Bill, let me also get your comments on Friday. The Supreme Court agreeing to hear former Governor Bob McDonnell's case. Now, good news in the short term, he stays out of prison. I've had a couple people tell me over the weekend they thought he was going to win 9-0, 8-1. I know you're not a lawyer, probably a good thing for right now, but I was really excited about that. I think Bob McDonnell's really been through a lot, and I think he might win. What say you?
I agree with you. I think he might win as well. I believe that the Supreme Court taking the case is huge. I've read, and I'm not a lawyer. I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, and I don't claim to be a lawyer. So I will tell you that I personally believe that they took, I think it was a Jackson or Jefferson decision, and they took it way beyond the extreme with what they charged Bob McDonnell with. It's created havoc up here with a lot of the legislators as far as, when we go to speak at something, and we're invited to speak at just hundreds of things every year. You go to speak at a dinner, I won't even eat there anymore for the most part, or even if let's say that you do a dinner, you've got 100 people there and 3 legislators. Well, you have to divide it amongst however many people. The legislators get a majority of, we had, let's say it was a $20,000 dinner, so $200 a plate. You got 3 legislators there. Let's say I'm the guy speaking, and I eat a salad. Well, if it's $200 a plate, my salad, even though I don't eat the meal, I'm speaking, or even if I don't eat at all, a lot of these things I just pop into, speak, and then depart after that. So I might not even eat the meal. But they're disclosing that, the function was $200, so I have to declare $200 even though I didn't eat anything, because
Crazy.
They're declaring it. So it's a little ridiculous. Then there's widely attended events, and whether it's cumulative or non-cumulative, it's crazy. So what we're doing is, on a lot of the events, if they're above the reporting fee and I'm not speaking, then we just won't go. Or even if I go to these events, John, and I write a check for $200, even though I don't eat, I write a check for $200, because I don't think that you should be giving me anything. But even if I write a check for the $200, then I still have to report it because they report it. It's kind of ridiculous on the ethics thing, so I'm working on that now.
I'd say it really is ridiculous. We need clear lines, and I think, Democrat, your colleague, Northern Virginia, Scott Seravel, predicted that McDonald was going to win this in the Supreme Court unanimously. He didn't think there'd be anybody going the other way because he says it's going to open up just a bizarre can of worms across the country for everybody. So we'll see how that plays out. You were in military intelligence, Senator DeSteph, a long time. What did you think about this prisoner swap with Iran?
I'll be honest with you, John. Every time the U.S. does something like that, I cringe. I really do. Look at the old Bergdahl situation where we took a private and swapped them for the equivalent of a couple of 4- and 5-star generals. I don't think we're doing the smart thing. I think we need to take a harsh military approach to these things. If somebody kidnaps our citizens, we need to take military action against them and get them back. I don't think we should be doing prisoner swaps or paying for these terrorists who take our individuals. I think we need to go in there and take a strong tactical military approach, surgically get our individuals out. We've got the units to do it. We know what we're doing. We know how to do it. We just need to do it. So I disagree with our president. I disagree with just his approach on a lot of these things. But that's my personal opinion on this. And I think that in the past, our military has gone in and done surgical strikes to handle situations like this. Are we always successful? No. Are we successful a majority of the time? Yep. And we've got our military folks, we've got our public safety individuals. In this challenging times that we're in, there's a lot of crazy people out there. And in these challenging times we're in, man, I think we need to make sure that they are well protected, well armed, and well trained. And we need to make sure we take a strong approach against terrorist-type activities.
Look, no question that we look weak with some of this stuff, and I think you're spot on. A lot of people very concerned when you even look what happened last week with our 10 sailors being held at gunpoint, and then our Secretary of State applauding the Iranians because they gave them a blanket or something. I mean, the U.S. prestige around the globe, no question, just taking hit day after day. It's the Virginia Beach area. Senator, your top, we're going in now to our first week of the General Assembly. Give our audience 2 or 3, I know we're short on time, of your top priorities.
Well, I'm actually on the way down to present a bill here in a second. It basically strengthens the resisting arrest bill, and it takes out that you have to have the intent to flee it. So it basically says noncompliance. So if an officer gives you a reasonable amount of instructions to put your hands behind your back, etc., and you don't comply, then you're resisting arrest. We shouldn't have to take people down on the ground and physically restrain them to put handcuffs on and arrest them. If we do, that should be resisting arrest. The way the law is written today, there's the intent to flee. So you've got to be able to turn, and you've got to wait till that individual turns and starts to run away. So what's next? We're going to say, okay, I'll give you to the corner, and then yell, "Ollie, Ollie, Oxenfree," and then I'll chase you down. An officer is supposed to control the situation, always maintain control of the situation, and every time somebody resists arrest or struggles and they don't comply with an officer, that's when people get hurt. And that's when you see the TV and news crews and the cameras popping out. It's because people are not complying with what the officers are saying. If they'd comply with what the officers are saying, they would not get hurt. And it's ridiculous what's happening.
So basically what you want is to change the law so if the person that's being questioned is not complying with what the officer is asking them to do, then they can be charged with resisting arrest, even if they don't physically turn their back on the officer to run away.
Correct.
Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, and then if I've got one handcuff on you and you keep turning so I can't get the second handcuff on you,
right.
I mean, that's resisting arrest. But
right.
Today in the law, that's not resisting arrest.
Right.
Again, the officers, our police officers out there are to protect and, ensure our safety. And whenever we have noncompliance, that's when we run into situations.
All right, no question. I know you're getting down there to present this. We're going to have you back on. One more top priority.
One more top priority. Let's see. I've got a whole host of bills this year. I'm trying to, one of the other things I'm trying to focus on is really fixing the ABC ratios and making it so it's easy to comply with. People aren't cheating. Making it where it's reasonable. Our laws are written so if you're drinking spirits, then you should have food available to eat. And we should not be dictating the price somebody sells food at or the price somebody sells alcohol at. And we should make it easier on our ABC agents or easy on our ABC agents because they're law enforcement officers. They're not accountants. They shouldn't have to go in and try to figure out ratios and determine if somebody's met their ABC ratios. They should be able to just go in and say, hey, are you serving food? Are you serving spirits? If you're serving spirits, you should be serving food. As long as you can order a hamburger or a meal, then life would be good. It's not rocket science.
Right. So get rid of the ratios and just basically if you're serving food, then that's good to go. Now, very quickly, Dick Saslaw, Minority Leader of the Senate, your colleague, called that the Virginia Saloon Bill. How do you respond to that?
Well, it's this easy. If you serve food, you're a restaurant. If you don't serve food, you're a bar or a saloon. We used to have saloons back in the 1800s, and it was in the
right.
Virginia Code. And guess what? If you serve food if I can order food while I'm drinking, guess what? I'm in a restaurant. If I can't order food while I'm ordering a drink, then guess what? I'm in a bar. It's pretty clear. It's pretty concise.
I like it. I mean,
yeah.
Hey, it's like straight up. All right, we know you have to go present your Bill DeSteph, right? Little play on words there. Thanks for being with us.
It's all good, my friend.
You want more info, go to BillDeSteph.org. Thanks,
yep.
Bill.
Hey, John, one last thing.
Sure.
It's going to get cold over the next couple of days. Make sure you're prepared for it. And then remember Tina Mapes for chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia Beach. Thank you, my friend.
We have her on live on Wednesday, Tina Mapes live. And, yes, I did bring my overcoat to Richmond. I'll be here for the week. Thanks, Bill. Good to have you with us. Let's go.